Crafts for Kids. You are in my backyard currently, so you might notice some friendly little creatures running around, and we might get a little bit of backyard noise.
Everyone to Crafts for
But
Kids.
hopefully you can hear me well, and we'll be having some fun doing a craft together. So this craft is pretty simple. I chose it because you can use a lot of different materials. And the idea is that it might inspire us to think about our gardens, even though it's wintertime and we might not be able to see or enjoy them right now as we normally would. To get us started, I'm gonna have a little welcome song. If you'd like to join me, we're gonna wave our hands together. And if you know this song, feel free to sing along. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, and how do you do? Your eyes are like sunshine, you bring me such cheer. Good morning, so glad that you're here. Now, if you look out the window, wherever you are, or maybe you're in your backyard too, have a look and think about what the weather is like. Now, I know in my backyard, the weather's been changing a lot this morning. So I've got another little song for you to think about the weather, and it goes like this. How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? Do you want to join me? Let's try it. How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? Is it snowy? Looks pretty snowy. Is it sunny? Is it sunny in your backyard? Not in my backyard. How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? Is it rainy? Maybe a little bit. How about windy? Well, you keep an eye on my nature mobile here, and it will tell you how windy it is in my backyard. Right now, it doesn't look too windy. And because I'm outside, I had to make sure that I was dressed for the weather. So I've got one more song to get you up and moving. If you'd like to stand up and join me, you probably know this song, but I've changed it just a little bit. So see if you can follow along. It goes like this. Hat and mittens, coat and boots, coat and boots, coat and boots. Hat and mittens, coat and boots. I'm so cozy, how about you? Very nice. Do you know that one? Probably. Let's see if we can do it just a little bit faster this time, okay? All right, join me. It goes like this. Hat and mittens, coat and boots, coat and boots, coat and boots. Hat and mittens, coat and boots. I'm so cozy, how about you? Very nice, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me in some welcome songs. I'm going to get started with the craft today by telling you a special story that goes with it. And this story is about a young girl. Her name is Flora. And Flora loves gardening and she loves plants. Do any of you love plants? Who has a garden in their backyard? I do. Flora had a beautiful garden in her backyard that she enjoyed in the spring and in the summer, and even in the fall. It was full of beautiful plants. But in the wintertime, like it is right now, Flora's garden was buried under mountains and mountains of snow. So much snow, it was taller than her boots. Can you imagine? Is the snow that deep at your house? It is at my house. It is so deep, it's taller than my boots. So Flora was looking out the window, gazing at her snow-covered garden one day, imagining all the beautiful plants that were usually there. And she had an idea. What if she went outside and looked around her neighborhood to see what plants were growing in the winter? Maybe if she saw some other plants, she wouldn't miss her garden so much. So she put on her coat, zip, put on her hat, her mitts and her boots, told her parents where she was going, and she headed outside looking for some plants. She walked to a nice little trail near her house, and when she got there, she saw a little animal scurrying around looking very lost. I want you to guess what animal it might have been. I'll give you some clues, okay? It has fur. It's pretty small. It has a long bushy tail. And if you were here before we started, you might have seen one right there on the fence. If you guessed a squirrel, you would be right. Hello there, squirrel, said Flora. You look lost. Can I help you? Oh, why, yes, Flora. I just moved to the neighborhood and I can't seem to find where I left my home. Oh, my goodness, said Flora. What does your home look like? Oh, well, it's a big, cozy pile of leaves up in one of the tallest trees. Okay, said Flora. She started to look around. Aha! There it is. She pointed up high in the tree. Oh, that's it. Thank you so much for helping me, Flora. What can I do to thank you? I know. The squirrel scurried up the tree and then quickly came back down and presented Flora with the gift. And that gift was one of the leaves from his home. Well, thank you, said Flora, and she tucked the leaf safely away in her pocket and carried on. Now, she hadn't walked too much further when she could hear someone calling, and it sounded like this. Hoo-hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo-hoo. Can you guess what animal was calling? I'll give you a clue. It has feathers. If you guessed an owl, you were right. Hello there, Flora called up to the owl. I heard you calling. Can I help you with anything? Oh, maybe, said the owl. I'm just trying to get a sleep in, but these chattering squirrels are keeping me awake. Oh my, that does sound difficult, said Flora. I think I can help you. So Flora went back to her new friend, the squirrel, and asked if maybe they could keep their voices down while the owl had a nap. They said, sure, and moved to another part of the trail. Flora went back to the owl and said, there, is that better? Oh, much better. Thank you, Flora. Here, take this gift to show how grateful I am for your help. And he knocked a pine cone down from the tree. Flora tucked it safely in her pocket and carried on her walk. As she walked, she met a lost bird who needed to know which way was south. When she pointed him in the right direction to warmer weather, he gave her an acorn as a thank you. A little bit further along the path, she ran into a raccoon that was having trouble walking in all this deep snow. So she stomped her feet in the snow to make a path that the raccoon could follow. And as a thank you, it gave her a beautiful stone. Flora tucked that in her pocket too. And before too long, her pockets were full. When she got home, she wondered what she was going to do with all these beautiful gifts. Then she had another idea. She went out to her backyard, where the tree above her garden had dropped 2 sticks. Then she tied those sticks together and tied each gift to the sticks and hung it above her garden in her yard. She could see it from her window, and it reminded her of all of the beautiful plants that would be growing soon in the spring. And the stone reminded her of all of the animals that would come to enjoy her lovely garden. And she didn't miss her garden quite so much. The end. And that is the story about the craft that we're going to make today. Now you can do this craft in a couple of different ways. The one that I've made behind me here uses 2 sticks crossed over one another. I'm going to show you another example of one that just uses 1 stick. It can be better for hanging inside if that's where you'd like to put your nature mobile. And it looks a little bit like this. A little bit windy. See how the mobile is waving? So this one just has 1 stick with a single string attached. And that one's really nice for hanging on a wall. That's what you'd like to do today. So you can choose how you'd like to make it, but I'm going to show you how to do it with 2 sticks. So you're going to cross your sticks one over the other, and then you're going to get a little piece of string. And you can use whatever kind of string you like. So I have lots of yarn in my house because I like to knit, but you might have regular string. You might even have some fishing line. Some people like to use a little bit of wire. All of those will work. So whatever you have in your house is perfect. You're gonna take a little bit of your string, and this part's really fun. Hold your sticks in a crisscross, and then just start wrapping the string around in the middle. Now you can tie it first if you like, but you just wanna make it nice and tight in the center. And you wanna make sure that the ends of your stick are all about the same length. So I've noticed one side is a little longer, so I can push it through to make it more even. Great. There we go. All wrapped. Now I'm just gonna tie it. Now that it's all together. And that's the first part done, nice and easy. You've got your sticks attached. You can start attaching all of your special items that you've chosen. Now the items that I chose to use today are all from nature, but you might want to use things that you have around your house. So you might want to use things like drawings that you've made, maybe something like these. And you could punch a little hole in the top to hang it from your mobile if you like. Or maybe you made some other crafts earlier in the week that you would like to use. You could use those too. So what I'm going to do is start with my pine cone. Cut a bit of string. It doesn't really matter how long. That too is up to you. And I'm just going to tie it to the top of my pine cone here. Excellent. And I'm going to set that aside for now. And I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm not going to attach it to my sticks just yet. I'm going to finish tying all of my items to a piece of string. Now, another little tip that I learned when I was making these is if you like to use the wire to attach your items, it sometimes makes it look like they're floating, which is pretty cool. So this acorn has a handy little string on it already. And I'm just going to tie that onto the acorn. So now I've got an acorn, I've got a pine cone. So if you have 2 things ready already, I want you to hold them up. See if you notice anything about them that might be a little bit different between the 2. When I do this, I realize my pine cone is a lot heavier than my acorn. And that is why I like to wait to attach all of my items until the end, because we want our mobile to be balanced. Now, my mobile over here is caught in a tree, but when it's not, there we go. You can see how it's balanced nicely. So when we attach all of these things to our sticks, we'll be careful to make sure that the weight is even on all sides. And there's some special tricks for how you can do that. I've got a leaf. So I'm going to cut my string, tie it to my leaf here. Now, is a leaf heavy? Or is it light? Really light. So I'm probably not going to want to put it across from something heavy on my mobile. Otherwise, it's just going to tip over. Ooh, but it's pretty blowing in the wind. Look at that. Very nice. We've got an acorn ready, a leaf, and a pine cone. Does anyone remember what the last thing is? From the raccoon was a special stone. Now the stone is a fun one because you can take your piece of string and wrap it all around the stone or just a little bit. So I'm going to use a bit longer piece of string for this one. And I want to wrap it and tie it really tight so that it doesn't fall off. And then I'm going to wrap it the other direction, which I'll show you in a moment, to make sure that it stays on the string because it's very heavy. Maybe I'll do a double knot on this one. Great. Very good. So I'm almost going to make a little X pattern like that. And then tie it all together on the back, okay? And that'll help it stay on. Or you can just wrap it a lot. That works too. If you just want to wrap it on there. So you can see your special stone hanging from the mobile. And then once we've got all of our pieces ready, and you don't have to use just 4. You could use more if you wanted to. We can start attaching them to our stick. Excellent. Stone is ready. So I'm going to pick my 2 heaviest items, my stone and my pine cone, and they're going to go across from each other on the sticks because they weigh almost the same. And that way, hopefully my sticks will balance. Now, another little trick when you're doing this is when you tie these on, don't tie them too tight. Leave a little bit of space if you can, not too much. You don't want it to slide off the end, but just a little bit. And that way you can slide it towards the center or closer to the end once you're trying to balance it out. That's another little trick that can help make things a little easier to balance. So go ahead and tie your items onto your stick, leaving a little bit of room, not too much. You don't want it to slide off, remember? And it can hang down as much as you would like. Here we go. So we've got 2 on there and feels pretty balanced so far. I'm going to tie the 2 really light items, the leaf and the acorn, on the other ends because they weigh about the same. Ooh, look at that go. Got really windy. Whew. And I want those ones to hang down a little bit more. I really like to have different levels of things hanging from my mobile. So we'll go ahead and tie those on nice and quick. Remember, for these ones, you can tie them on really tight because you don't want them to blow off because they almost weigh nothing. It doesn't matter. You won't need to move them. And while you're tying, you can start trimming the ends of string to make it look a little prettier as you go. There's my leaf. Oh, my leaf almost blew away. Okay, here we go. Nice and tight. Ta-da! All 4 things are there. Now see all these extra long pieces of string? I would go ahead and trim those off so that it looks nice and pretty. And then there's just one more part and we are all done. Now this part can be a little bit trickier because what you want to do now is tie some string to the end of each stick that goes up into the middle. Those pieces are going to want to be nice and long, okay? So I have done one already, as you'll see over here. And I've tied some string, and then I've used all four to wrap around the place that I'd like to hang and attach it. And if you tie a piece of string to all four sides, that helps give you a lot of good balance as well. You can also just tie one around the middle and hang it like that if you'd like, but then you have to make sure that all of your items are perfectly balanced. Okay, so I'm gonna just do one in the middle as a bit of a test. We'll see how well I balanced all four of my things. Hopefully it's pretty good. So we're tying one string in the center. Oh, is that balanced? Not quite. It's looking a little bit heavy on this side. Not quite heavy enough on this side. So I'm gonna slide my rock down a little bit this way. I'm gonna move my pine cone a little bit to the middle, and that helped a lot. Now, the other thing I noticed is that this side of the stick is leaning, and I can fix that too by sliding it over. So if you leave a little bit of space in your sticks, in your tied knots, you can kind of slide things around and adjust. But I do find that if I tie a piece of string to each of the four sticks, it's much easier to balance. And it looks nice. There we go. Flora's beautiful garden mobile, all ready to hang out for her to enjoy. I hope that you've all had a great time making your nature mobiles as well. If you're interested in sending us some pictures of what you create, we would love to see them. You can always check out our website at Oakville Parent-Child Centre. We are at www.op-cc.ca. And we have lots of fun free programs for families. And we also have licensed childcare. So check us out, see what we're up to. We'd love to see you out at one of our programs. Hopefully soon in March, we'll be able to do some programs outside for families too. But we have lots of virtual programs for people to enjoy. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here with me today. I'm going to sing a little goodbye song now that we've finished our craft. And hopefully it's one that you'll make again sometime because it's so simple. And if you're out gathering items, this is a great way to display them for everybody who might want to see what you found on your adventures. All right. This is a bit of an active song. So if you feel like you need to get up and moving, this one's for you. We're gonna start by clapping our hands. Now stomp your feet. Now wave, ready? 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, goodbye, see you again. Goodbye, goodbye, see you, my friends. Goodbye, goodbye, I had fun today. I had fun today. One more set of actions. Can you jump up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you wiggle? All right, let's wave. Goodbye, goodbye, see you again. Goodbye, goodbye, see you, my friends. Goodbye, goodbye, I had fun today. I had fun today. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Halton Food and Halton Environmental Network for having us today. And I will be back again on Thursday for some more nature crafts at 10:30. I hope you'll join me. Thanks so much.